I asked VTubers for one piece of advice they would give to new or aspiring VTubers, and this is what they had to say. The first bit of advice is very important if you have never streamed before. As Tani Danuki points out, you should prep OBS and be okay with what you can output. You would be surprised how many people's very first stream ends up being a near silent PowerPoint presentation simply because the hardware cannot handle streaming with a model. And this leads nicely onto the next bit of advice from Magic. Invest in your hardware before spending money on a fancy model. Please make sure your PC can run everything. Otherwise, no matter how much you spend on it, nobody will be able to see your model in action. Now, both Mugatu and Skenge bring up a very important thing. Audio is important. Record yourself and make sure you are audible and not being drowned out by any background noise. And be sure to take advantage of various audio filters to make any needed adjustments. Most people will have your stream open on one monitor while they do something else on the other, so audio will matter more than video. Audio quality is something that even after 3 years of streaming, I'm always trying to tweak to improve. You know the next bit of advice is important when Pinkpunk, Fubuki, Lanzi, Ray, and Koronoke all hit on the same point, and this is to start off cheap. Don't go spending thousands before even giving VTubing a go. So many people have dumped a ton of money into VTubing and just given up after a month or two. Try it first, see if you actually enjoy it, and then maybe think about spending some real money. You can start off with a simple reactive PNG, try some of the free and or very cheap models from Booth, or if you really want something custom, commission a simple chibi model of your design. That way you can still have a personal moving model without spending big money on something you might give up on within a month. And this relates a lot to what Mike and Dodgian have to say. It will take more than a fancy model to be a success. Don't spend a ton of money thinking it will make you a good content creator. That will take a lot of time and effort to achieve. Speaking of time, why not start making content now? Both Soda and Starchild recommend making content pre-streaming. This can help you gain some useful skills and maybe even a following before your first ever stream, hopefully bringing some eyes to your debut. While making this content, be sure to take Logic Dispenser's advice. Avoid politics and drama. If you see drama as a VTuber, it's best to not involve yourself with it. The VTweeter route never has a happy ending. For those who don't know, a VTweeter is someone who claims to be a VTuber, but doesn't actually make content. They just spend their time involving themselves with drama and politics on Twitter. This, more often than not, ends up being their downfall in some way. So just keep your focus on making whatever content you can. But don't stop once you actually start streaming. Both Noxy and Biz talked about having content outside of Twitch. It's no secret that Twitch's discoverability is pretty shit. So making extra content that will help people find you on other social media platforms is very important. With that said, it's important to keep expectations low. Konata and Bud hit on this. Chances are you won't be the next goer, but don't let that stop you from trying. If you put in the right amount of effort, it will eventually start paying off. And as Kick Dude and Cookie suggest, something to put effort into early on is learning to talk to yourself. Most streamers, when they start, won't have many or maybe even any viewers. So learning to talk to yourself and be entertaining without anyone else there is key, since it means new people stumbling across you won't be met with dead stares and silence. Now, this can be the hardest part of being a new streamer, so do as Tonorama says, don't give up if you don't hit it big. You can still have fun streaming, even if it's not to thousands of people. And listen to Grim Vale when she says, don't stress yourself out. since a lot of growth is non-linear, it's a game of patience, self-improvement, and having fun. A big thing there is self-improvement, because as Remy points out, it doesn't matter how badly you suck at something, if you end up doing it 100 times, then you'll suck a lot less afterwards. And to be blunt, you probably will suck at first. Everyone does. So don't let that hold you back. And keep at it with self-improvement in mind. Pippa says you should watch Mr. Beast advice videos. And this one is interesting because it brings up a common trap that you have probably already fallen for. And that is only watching a VTuber related advice video. VTubing is really just the same as streaming and content creation as a whole, just with a virtual face. While this can open some doors and close others, most advice non-VTuber content creators gives will still be useful, and who better to take advice from than Mr. Beast himself? Now, once you started streaming for real, Curb and Ocas mention it's a good idea to watch your own VODs. This will help you find any issues there may be with your stream, like audio cutting out or certain things not showing. It can also help you find things you might need to improve on. Which brings me to a point Holdsworth brings up, and that's be able to look at yourself critically. Knowing what you do badly is the first step to improving. So do be sure to watch your VODs back and see what you might need to work on. While doing this, be sure to listen to Pickle when she says, stream consistently. Consistency is key. You're going to have the best chance of getting a returning audience if they know when and where to find you. Constantly switching up what times you stream might technically help you reach more people, but very few of them are going to be able to watch you at different times of the day, so spreading yourself out too thinly won't help you much. Kahal Zane brings up something important. There's always going to be people that don't like you, even for the stupidest reasons, or just because you exist. Don't let them get to you. They don't deserve a place in your mind. This is a big one. I would consider myself a pretty uncontroversial person, and even I've received everything from hate raids to death threats. Best to get some thick skin and not let it bother you. And finally, an amazing piece of advice from Otter. You're going to be scuff. Embrace it and learn to play off the small stuff. Every streamer will have scuff at some point. Something won't work, some audio is going to mess up, and so on. Don't worry, it's normal. Just be sure to learn from it when you can. And that is all for this video. There was more, but I wanted to keep the video on the shorter side. Even still, I hope this helped, and I hope to see you next time.